Hey, hey. Welcome everybody to Miss Glow's Kitchen, where there's sugar, spice, and everything nice, where we slice, dice, and entice, using everything we can, from peppers to allspice. What's up, my people? Y'all know what time it is? See y'all in the kitchen. I have a really delicious pepper steak appetizer on the menu today. And here's what we need to make it. Now, it's 3 parts to this appetizer. Don't let that daunt you. Don't let that hold you back. It's 3 parts. We're going to do the pepper steak itself. We're going to do the marinade. And we're going to do the little wonton mini bowls that it goes in. Easy. All right? Want to impress your guests? Want to impress your family? This one right here for the books, baby. All right, so we need some sirloin steak. First of all, and I'm going to tell you that's the marinade ingredients behind it. But we're going to get started. We're going to cube this steak. So about 2 pounds, so 1.5 to 2 pounds of a sirloin steak. Now, if you have another steak that's your favorite, another pretty lean cut, by all means, feel free to substitute that steak. Now, as I said, we're going to cube this. So you don't make the cubes too big, because if you saw the picture of the appetizer, then you know that the little wonton, the little mini bowls that we're going to make, they're not that big. This mixture is going to spoon in there and it needs to look good. So you don't want your pieces of steak too big. Now, if you want to make your steak smaller into like a dice instead of a cube, that's actually okay. I actually think that's a fantastic idea, but I like the size right here that I used. All right. So we're going to cut this up and then we're going to move on to the marinade. Alright, so put the pepper steak in a bag. If you have a bowl with a top, that's fine. I did use a sandwich bag, but it's really going to be up to you. Now, for this marinade, in no particular order, I know I'm putting it in the bowl right there, but that's fine because we're actually going to put everything in here and then we're going to stir it up. So we need 4 teaspoons of soy sauce, 7 tablespoons of hoisin sauce, 4 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce, 2 teaspoons red cooking wine, 2 teaspoons cornstarch. We need 2 teaspoons of sesame oil, and we will need 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Now, once all of these ingredients are put into that bowl, you're going to whisk it. You're going to whisk it really well. And once you whisk it, then you're going to put it in this bag of meat. And then we're going to let that marinate for a minimum of 1 hour. So 1 hour, you can do it longer than that. So if you want to do this early and you're having company later, or you're trying to assemble this dish a little bit later in the evening, it's going to be fine to let it marinate until, so 5 or 6 hours, cool, you're still good. So very quickly, whisk it, pour it over that steak. You want to seal that, and if it's a bowl with a top, then you're going to put it. But you want to make sure that this covers. Now, if this is not covering the amount of steak that you have, what you want to do is you want to put it in the refrigerator in that bowl or whatever, but you want to come back and you want to stir it or shake it up. So you just want to make sure that all of the steak is evenly coated. All right, so this is after some time has passed and we're back. So that steak marinade is ready. But right now we're going to assemble our mini bowls. So you get some nonstick spray. All right, so you're going to spray all of. Now, this is a regular size muffin tin with like 12 in there. You don't want to get the really, some of them have really large ones like with 6 in it. No, you're going to use the one with the 12, and don't use the minis either. All right, so you're going to take your wonton wrappers, and this is what you're going to do. You're going to press them into the shape of the muffin, each individual compartment in the muffin tin. All right, so this is going to be flat on the bottom. And it's going to sit up around the side. So almost like a mini bowl. Check that out. That's what you're looking for. That's what the filling is going to go in. So you'll see. So non-stick spray. You're going to put these down in here. Now, if you want to put a little bit of salt, you can do that. I choose not to because I feel like my steak is seasoned enough. So that is going to go into a 375-degree oven. It's only going to go for about 5 minutes. Make sure you look in there. If it's turning dark, take them out. But I'm going to show you in a minute what they look like when they do come out. Now, we're going to start on the ingredients for the actual pepper steak itself. So we marinated the steak, as you know. So now we're going to start cutting everything up. So we got red bell pepper here. I'm going to chop it. I'm going to let you see how big I'm going to do it. So, you know, if you think like this, if you try to make these either even or smaller than your cubes of steak, then that's actually going to work out fine. That's actually cool. So, all right, so we've got 2 pounds of steak, so think like that. We're going to use the entire red pepper. All right, the entire red pepper. If you want to cut back a little bit on it, you can. It'll work still, but I say just use the whole thing, so no big deal. All right, so we're at the end of chopping these red peppers. You can see how big I did it. Now you can see I have some empty ramekins on the side right there, so that's where I'm going to put everything, just to get it out of my way so that it's not actually sitting on the chopping board while I'm doing everything else. So we're going to move on at this point to the green pepper. We're going to do the same thing, and we're going to chop this green pepper up into the same size pieces that we did the red one. All right, so we're going to take the sides off, and that's our whole pepper. So I take the sides off and the bottom. You can take that white piece of that rib out, but it won't make too much of a difference, but a lot of people do. And the other thing is you can cut the bottom of your pepper off and use it. All right, so we're going to start cutting these up. So I'm just going to show you that we're going to do them almost like the same size we did the red one. So, all right, so just for demonstration purposes, indeed, I did cut that off, but I'm telling you now that every time I cook, I don't cut that rib off. It's going to cook down anyway, so. So, all right, we're going to get it to around that same size, and we're good to go. We're moving on. Green pepper complete. It's in the ramekin off. You can't see it on the camera. All right, so the Roma tomatoes. Now, what I have done is cut the butt of that tomato off. So that part where it's picked off the stem, I cut that off. All right, so we're going to chop these into a pretty nice size. We don't want our tomatoes to cook down too much, so we don't want them to turn to mush. So if you cut them too small, that's precisely what's going to happen. So you have mush all over your steak. Actually, you want to be able to see your steak, your peppers, your tomatoes. You want to be able to see them. Now, if you are this is a pepper steak appetizer. So if you're looking for an authentic pepper steak recipe, then this is not going to be it, because I'm going to put tomatoes in here. It bumps up the flavor a little bit and it tastes really good. So you want to come at me about that? Don't. So if you want to leave the tomatoes out, you can do that. So that will be totally up to you. All right, so tomatoes done. The onion is next. We're going to use half of a yellow onion. If you want to use white, you can use white. I do not recommend using red onions, because red onions are going to cook down into sort of mush. So I'm not recommending red onion, but if that's all you have and you want to use that, you can. But it's not going to be at the top of my list of recommendations, that's for sure. All right, so the onions cut about the same size as the tomatoes. So easy recipe, little quick appetizer. Looks like it, but for demonstration purposes, I am chopping a little bit slower than I would. But if you're gonna chop and move on through this, then it's gonna be a pretty quick appetizer. All right, so we're going to cut up that jalapeno pepper. You're gonna take the ribs and the seeds out. Now this, I'm going to tell you, is optional. You don't have to put the jalapeno pepper in. So if you don't want yours a little bit on the spicy side, you don't have to put the jalapeno in there. But what you can put is you can put some red pepper flakes. So crushed red pepper will do its thing for you right here. Not too much spice, it's cool. Right, so you can see, I'm trying to be so neat cutting. I think I did it, guys, this time. I really do. All right, so look at that. All right, and that's about a half. About a half of a pepper, so. Okay. Doing good. We're going to put those right on top of the onions. The green onion is next. Now, chop this onion as big or as small as you like. We're going to come to the part where we will actually cook the mixture. We've prepped everything. Everything's ready. Now we're going to cook. Now, this is beef. Of course, you know that. If this was chicken, I would tell you to drain the chicken and then put it in and not use the liquid part of the marinade. But because this is beef and because it's such a small amount of the marinade, I'm going to tell you to pour the entire thing in here. Now, if you have too much liquid in yours, don't do it. Take your meat and drain some of that liquid off it. You don't want this like a soup because what it's going to do is it's going to make your wonton bowls soggy. So don't do that. So we're going to put the steak in, then we're going to put the onions and the jalapenos. We're going to put the green peppers in. Red peppers will be next, but one thing I can tell you is if you want to wait before you put the red peppers in there, because they're going to cook down a heck of a lot quicker than those green ones will. And sometimes they'll get lost in the dish. So if you want to wait like 5 minutes before you put the red peppers in, you can do that. All right, so we're going to season here. Now, it's going to be your choice. So that's black pepper. That is garlic powder. Some onion powder. So we're going to need some ginger in here, right? I need some ginger. And the other seasonings you choose, it'll strictly be up to you, but I am going to tell you that if you taste this, then if anything you're going to put in here, then it is going to be our favorite trio. It is going to be seasoned salt, onion powder, and garlic powder. All right, and then it's going to be a teaspoon of ground ginger. But I'm going to list everything in the description box down below. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe button and you're still with me right now, hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that bell for notifications so you will be one of the first ones to know when I put a new video up. You want to be one of the first ones. Trust me, you do. All right, so if you're frying your pepper steak there and you feel like the oil is lost, it's not enough, it's not frying the way you want, you're either going to do one of two things. You're going to put some oil on here, whatever type of oil you use, vegetable, corn oil, olive oil. You're going to put some along the outer edges of the mixture, or either you're going to make a circle in the middle of the mixture and you're going to put some oil in there, and then you're just going to get to stirring. Get to stirring, baby, and let it fry up. So you're going to fry this until those onions are translucent. So you're going to watch the onions. Trust me, the steak is going to be done. Even if you like your steak well done, this steak is going to be done enough that you're going to like it. But don't overcook it. Well, it's going to be almost like chewing on pieces of leather. So that's going to be one thing I'm going to tell you, is that you're going to watch. So you're going to taste your beef as you go along. So there we go. We're going. We want these onions translucent. As soon as they are, then we'll move on to the next step. So as it cooks, it's going to thicken up, because remember, the marinade had cornstarch in it. So it's going to be almost like a slight amount of gravy right there, and that's good. That's what we're looking for. We're going to sprinkle our tomatoes in. Now, we're going to get these tomatoes warm. As soon as these tomatoes are warm, your dish is done. You do not have to cook these until they are soggy. Remember, you want them to hold up. So texture-wise in the dish, you want to be able to see your tomatoes, your steak. You want to be able to see your peppers, your onions. Trust me, we eat with our eyes first. This is a beautiful dish, but not only is it beautiful, it is so good. Now let's go plate it. Beautiful appetizer. So you can see our little wonton. These are mini wonton bowls. Look at that. We're going to put our mixture right in there. So remember, our garnish is going to be green onions and sesame seeds. If you're not a green onion lover, then you're going to use parsley. Or you can even use cilantro. That's another variation. That's another substitution you can use. Alright, so you're going to dish these up until this thing is almost full. Because trust me, it's not an amuse-bouche, which is one bite, but this is at least 2 bites. And if you're taking dainty little bites, then it's about 3 bites. And so I've got this platter. I got like 4 on here, but if you do like a holiday party or something, you got one of those big round trays and you can fit more on there, fit them all on there, because this is one of those that you can go around and pass out. So this is something good. And for people who don't eat pork, then this is absolutely perfect. If you're a red meat lover, this is for you. As I said, beautiful dish. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's garnished and it's done. So if you're looking for something different, you're having a party for the holidays, even a regular day. Perfect appetizer. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Remember, green onions, sesame seeds for the garnish. Go make this. Thanks for watching, everybody. See y'all next time. For more great recipes, tips, and ideas, check out some of my other videos.